Imagine the child prodigy, the guy in life who just seems to be more talented than others, smarter than others, he has good grades, plays sports, is charismatic, confident, social, everything one would need. He just has to keep up the momentum. He's gonna live the American dream, have a nice, beautiful home, beautiful wife, kids, become a perhaps CEO, just all one would need, all one would want. Only if you could become like him, you tell yourself. But unfortunately, you know about the genetic lottery. You know about genetics, how they play the role in our lives, how they influence us, how some people seem to win the lottery, others seem to lose horrendously. What if I told you there was a way to surpass them? Not even just catch up, but to surpass the prodigies. Later in life, they won't keep up the momentum. Later in life, they're just gonna fall off because they want to enjoy the success they have. Unfortunately, they don't see what's coming. On the other hand, I will tell you how to catch up to them and even surpass them. If you ever played video games, there's a thing called XP boosts. Basically, if you get 1 experience point, you gain 2. If you gain 10, you get 20. The higher the number of experience gained, the higher the number of the boost. It works in percentages. Perhaps 100% boost means what I just said. 1 gets you 2, 10 gets you 20. And the thing I'm about to tell you is about the 400%, which means if you do 1, you get 5. You just magically get 4 additional ones. What is this magical thing? It's learning how to learn. Not as groundbreaking as you thought. I mean, it seems simple, but it actually works. If you learn how to learn, then it's basically just an XP boost. You learn how to learn, so that means you get experience by experiencing. You learn skills by learning skills, you just do it faster. If you ever practice something, a physical skill or a mental one, you notice the point at which you fail and fail and fail, and then you start to become frustrated. You start to become angry, you want to give up. Most people do. But this is precisely the point at which you should start paying more attention. It's basically just in the gym. You pump up the bicep, you go, you do 10 reps, and you then start feeling the burn. That's the frustration. People give up because, oh, it's uncomfortable. But if you keep going and squeeze up the last reps, this is the place where the most gains are at. So next time, instead of just giving up when getting frustrated, remind yourself that you are learning. It basically, the frustration, it sends a signal to your brain that it needs to change, that it needs to connect some more neurons together. This means the frustration is just learning. Just like with building muscle, building your brain is painful. It requires time, effort, and sacrifice. But if you notice yourself maybe in a day just going through it, you learn how to learn. Whenever practicing a skill, you notice that, for example, if you were to do something really gentle, if you were to thread a string through a needle, your hands would just suddenly start shaking. For some reason, you just start to panic, and you don't know why. This thing is called purpose tremors, where you start to shake because you start to focus more. What you need to do at this point is just relax. You fail? Okay then, you learn. When you get frustrated, you learn. And if you relax and just calmly insert it, you win because you just did it. Relaxing is the key. In whatever discipline, tell yourself it's okay to fail. You won't get it at the first time, but if you try enough, you're gonna learn more than the person who just wins it by one try. It takes you maybe 10, 20, 30 tries, but you manage to nail it in the end. And when you do, you're gonna be better than the person before. Because you had to work for it. You had to just manage your body in a way where it becomes automatic. When it becomes so, you can do it whenever. Have you ever noticed that when you were riding a bike, the first time were hard because you were just wobbling around, you fell to one side, you fell to the other. But after 10 years, when you know you can ride a bike, You just effortlessly hop on and just start pedaling. Why? Because you're relaxed. The same thing with driving. The same thing with basically anything. When you learned to walk, it was hard at the start. You didn't know how to move your legs. You just wobbled around as on the bike. And then you took your first step, then second, third one, fourth one, and after many years of walking, you don't even think about it. You just go. You just go. There's a certain place in the brain which controls these types of function, the ones that became automatic. And the more you learn, the more information is stored in this part of the brain. What about dopamine? Dopamine plays a crucial role, and yes, that's the case. If you scroll, if you eat junk food, if you just do degenerate habits that spike it up and just crash it down, then you're not gonna learn as much. Dopamine is the motivation to push through the discomfort, to push through the failure. Each time you fail, you win because you gain knowledge. And each time you win because you win. But if your dopamine is all over the place, the half of the equation, which means losing equals winning, just goes away because you don't want to lose. You give up easily. And instead of losing 10 times and learning, you lose once and give up. There's another reason to just quit all the degenerate habits, to go on dopamine fast or something like this and just clear your mind from all the clutter. Once you do, you will have a clearer mind, you can focus better, and you will learn faster. I employ all of these things in my learning of Jiu-Jitsu. Every time I get frustrated, I just smile because I know I'm learning. And once I manage to pull it off, to some extent I'm quite even sad because I won't learn as much. Because when you fail, you learn, and when you win, you win. And instead of learning, we actually get you results, you win, which gets you like the short-term pleasure. You could see the failing as delayed gratification and winning as instant gratification. It makes sense to some extent. You fail, the dopamine, the happiness goes down, you fail, then you manage to do it. But instead of just going where it has to, it goes up. On the other hand, if you were to win, you'd have to stack like 3 or 4 wins to just get the amplitude of the delayed one, of failing. And that's better. Also, it gets quite addictive after just failing, and then you just manage to push through it and win it. It's like gambling, literally. You don't know when you're gonna win, you don't know when you're gonna fail. But when you do, you want to repeat it. In this way, if you make it into like this kind of hazard game or something like this, you just win. Win by trying. And that's the thing you have to do. You have to try. It's not going to be comfortable, but it's going to get you results. And the results are ever more worth it than just the short-term pleasure of not trying. This was day 14, I think. Hope you learned something.